All right. Who wants to start? Well, I want to thank you all for joining us tonight. And I'm really looking forward to these huddles with our Canadian team. I love the title. Ashley, was it your name? Who came up with that? Was it Stephen?
He's on the other side.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
anytime there's a good name, it's always Stephen that comes up with it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Especially I know some of you have kids that play football, and I mean that the team huddle was always like the highlight of the game. Like it was just like, right. And yeah, so I think this is a great call. And we do have an amazing Canadian team. We work really hard together, and I'm really excited that you're going to get a chance to connect with us and get to know us and just find out, we all have different skills and different things that we're all good at, and we work together well as a team. That's something that we've always taken pride in our team in Canada here. So anyways, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And I think you wanted everybody to share, whoever did come to convention, one of the key highlights. So who would like to start? One of the, something that you can just say, wow, this was the part that, Wen, go ahead.
Well, I had no idea, as we're not supposed to have any idea of what the new product would be. So for me, that was the highlight, because it was not only such an exciting product that we were going to be, able to use for our clients, but it was also Dr. Susan Beck's presenting it, and it was wonderful. Just also put together before we even got to see it. I love it, and I'm loving it myself.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Excellent. Who's next? Shelley.
I'll go. Do you know what? I mean, everything was just really awesome, just the excitement about it. But I really loved some of the changes that were made so that it flowed a little faster. And so we were up on stage, and then there was something else that was coming out, and then up on stage. And so that there was a nice variety there. But it was just a lot of fun to be around people, because it had been too many years.
Excellent. Yes, Serena.
Well, it all was so awesome. I mean, it was my first convention in person. So I really didn't know what to expect, but it certainly beat all my expectations. But Ashley, I loved your analogy of taking the lid off. It just made so much sense. It was really smart. It was, you did a great job with that, and breaking it down into pieces. Just, it was a really good analogy of what we need to do. So that was up there for sure.
Thank you so much. And you brought my birthday buddy.
Yeah.
So that was so nice to get to hug her.
All right. Anybody? Yes, Rose. Almost. You were unmuted, and then you muted again.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, actually, I think it was getting to see everybody in person. Like, that was way long overdue. I thought it was awesome to finally really see like Stephen and Ashley. And Ashley, I have to say, like, this might sound crazy, but your tears, like, it just, it was just you were so authentic and so real, and your passion was so evident that I think it just, I don't know, it just changed something for me, for sure. And I just really thank you for that. That was the highlight for me. I like to cry too, Ashley.
I will tell you,
good cries. I mean, for good reason.
If you're ever in the room with me, you'll never cry alone. I'm a sympathetic crier. Thank you so much for that, Rose. Thank you.
Good to know.
Right. Heather.
I'm going to pick on Ashley again, too. In fact, I'm going to say, Ashley, I just loved every time you came on stage with the bag over your arm. It was like, oh, what she got for us this time. But the really impactful part for me was the candles. When I realized in that short bit of time from you lighting 3, the entire room was lit. And I thought, what an amazing representation of one person reaching so many in a short time, just going on the power of 3. That was just so impactful. And being a former teacher myself, I love all those really creative ways of bringing lessons to life. And that's what I see you doing here.
Excellent, Heather. Thank you. Joan.
First thing is just being there. Crossing that was my very first thing, is being able to cross the border and
Yeah.
meeting the people. We've connected on Zoom. I've never met some of those people, and just as though we knew each other, like Jamie Summers, and you just hugged them as if you knew each other, right? So that was one for me, and just the energy. I just needed my battery energized.
Mm-hmm.
And also with Ashley, it's all the visuals. You remember it because of the visuals, not just saying it. So that really was great. It was great. I was really pumped leaving convention.
Excellent. Pauline.
Unfortunately, my husband and I weren't able to go to the convention. However, Joan, on the way there, she kept texting me saying she's doing okay, they're doing fine, they're doing okay. However, at the convention, she sent me another text. It's awesome, we're having a wonderful time. So I felt as if I was there. So she connected me to the convention, which was very lovely. Thanks, Joan.
Awesome. Way to go, Pauline.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Did I catch everybody?
Mary Ellen, it had to be the journey to get to convention, right? Like that had to be the best part.
That was a lot of fun. We had a great time, and then when we got there, like all the energy and spending time with all the Canadians, and all the speakers were wonderful. We really enjoyed it, and the people that we had out at convention just loved it. So that was super exciting for me. So.
Yeah.
Well, we loved watching you get there. So you have to do that again.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, renting the van and having 10 of us, and then going to Graceland and meeting Elvis and his whole family. That was awesome before we came back to Nashville again, and just being together as a team. And yeah, crossing that border was like we were like all praying, please let us cross. And so we're so grateful that God was on our side that week. I have to say that, I mean, I've been to probably 30. I think there was one I missed because I was 8 months pregnant and they wouldn't let me fly. So I've probably been to 30 conventions. And I have to say that every year, like, you definitely take away something dynamic. But this year was really different because we had new leadership. Actually, we didn't know what to expect. And Stephen, we were so used to a system. We were so used to Josh, who has been loving us for many years, and he was ready to do what he's doing today. So we didn't know what to expect and how well you guys would put this together. And it was almost like poof, you just filled the spot and exceeded our expectation. Like it was smooth. It was like you knew Neolife, or you've been a part of the company forever, which is very unusual. When you have a corporate person that comes from another company and then they get plopped into a new company, it's like everything about the company. I found that like bizarre. I don't know if you guys felt the same, but you guys have a gift. You really do. And I know it's easy to fall in love with Neolife, and so grateful that Kendra took you in and showed you the ropes. But I think you just accepted everything and learned everything so fast. I mean, even the marketing plan, it's like crazy, right? It took us how long to learn the marketing plan, guys, right? It's like, and I know you're in that industry, but there's still different things and twists and turns, and companies run things differently, but it's like, you knew exactly, what's happening, and then how we can improve things. And I think that's a total gift. So anyways, I just want to thank you so much for that. Oh, you're muted, Ash. Sorry. Okay, there you go, Stephen.
I was going to say, it was an honor to be a part of the event. And on the comp plan, I will let you know, we kind of had a cheat code, because the company that we had spent most of our career with, actually in the field and myself corporately, it's functionally the same comp plan. It's a stair step breakaway and so that has been one of the biggest blessings, because I think it's the best comp plan in the industry, bar none. I've worked with uni-level comp plans to binary comp plans, and there's nothing like a stair-step breakaway comp plan for both short, middle, and long-term income. And so that was helpful, is that the base comp plan is what we've lived before, which was made that super helpful, but also gave us even more confidence in Neolife, because it's by far the best comp plan we've ever seen delivered in the industry. So yeah, but I was going to say this, because this will be a perfect segue into where we're going to go next. I just wanted to talk about, okay, Nashville, hopefully the convention was incredible, but I will tell you this, that'll be nothing compared to what is going to happen at Impact Summit in San Antonio, Texas. You know, we had only 6 months to really plan and prepare, and really actually, you know, 4 months, let's say, to plan and prepare for convention when we got here, because, you know, but we have already, I probably have put somewhere between 5 and 8 hours of meeting time in on Impact Summit in San Antonio. So if y'all loved Nashville in convention, hopefully we're going to blow the socks off everyone when it comes to San Antonio Impact Summit 2023. We have some major plans for that event. And they always say, like, everything's bigger in Texas. We want this to be the biggest event in the history of Neolife, and I will stake a claim and guarantee it'll be the best event in the history of Neolife globally. There will not be an event that's ever been ran in Neolife globally that will compare to what your team will get to experience in San Antonio. It'll be amazing. So, and Ash and I we could not be more fired up about Neolife right now after getting to spend that time with you all at convention. I mean, it's the first time that it's the first time that we've together got to spend that much time with so many of you in the field. And it just was a further conviction and confidence that this is the best company in the industry in every regard: products, comp plan, community, people, you name it, et cetera. It just gave us even, like, we're more on fire now than we were, I didn't think that was possible, than we were, 3 weeks ago. So Ash, I don't know if you anything you want to say in regards to convention and everything.
Just that, I tell you what, when Kendra found Stephen, like when God put Stephen with Neolife, he really outdid himself. Like, I will tell you, I've known him for a very long time, and he's been excellent at everything he's ever done. But here, he's just magic. Like even just coming up with the name of this huddle and you mentioning that, those are the things that Stephen just does, like he's exhaling air. Like, he's just so good at this. And I am so fortunate that I get to learn this side of the industry from Stephen. Like, we have been together in different companies, but I've always been on the promoter side. Daniel and I've always been on the promoter side. So to be able to learn, like, in the footsteps of Stephen is such a blessing to me. So all of the smartness really comes, I just want everyone to know, I talk a lot, but Stephen's the brains behind this operation. So we're just so thankful to have him. And I can't wait for you all to meet Pam. So Stephen's wife is just the most smiley, happy, wonderful, sweet thing you've ever seen. So I can't wait until she can join us at events and you guys can get a full picture, because you guys got to meet Daniel. But for you guys to get a full picture of the Whitwell family, I always think that it's hard to get a full picture of who someone is until you meet their other half. Pam is just as sweet as Stephen, which is kind of mind-blowing, right? Like, he's so nice. I don't know how he was able to find someone equally his sweetness, but I just want you to know, like, he's the genius behind everything that's happening now. And it's because he has so much experience. But everything that he's ever done, it's like God prepared him for such a time as this. So every day I'm blown away by the things that he comes up with. And I'm just really lucky to get to, like, ride his coattails. So,
and I think having the two of you, it's a proper balance then, right? Like, I mean, I know Stephen, you were awesome coming in, even solo, but then having Ashley there, I think, you know, you both have different skills and different personalities, and so you complement each other. And I think you both are going to bring so much more to the table. But before we go any further, we have somebody new, very, very new to Neo Life. And I would like Shelly to introduce her, because she's behind the camera because she's at the gym, but she's young. And Shelly, I know, where are you? Do I see? Did Shelly? Oh, there you are. Sorry.
No, I'm here. Sorry, I'm just texting Nyada so that she turns on her video.
She came on for a second, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I met Nyada actually at the gym, and she's just so excited about learning and sharing her story and learning about Neo Life and helping others. And so she's jumping on this call for the first time. And I don't know if,
you texted me, you didn't text Nida.
oh, sorry, wrong person, sorry. I'm trying to have her turn on here.
Shelly's telling me to turn my video on, and so she's texting one person.
Okay, turn on video, please.
Well, you know, I will wait for her to turn it on, Shelly, if she does. I know she's really busy. I mean, for her to jump on while she's at work is huge, because I know sometimes it's a challenge. Yeah, Shelly's been, oh my gosh. Anyways, I'm really excited about some of the activity. We met a young couple today at the market, Shelly? And they stood with us for a long time, and we invited them to the Saturday, September 10th session, Stephen. So we're inviting people that are even like curious about the business. So this is going to be an awesome, awesome Saturday session. So if you have anybody, guys, even if they haven't signed up yet, or if they're just members and they're kind of like, I want to know more about the business, I think it's important for them to see the community and the kind of people that are involved with an incredible company. So September 10th is going to be an incredible event. So bring people, invite people. Okay.
Perfect. And that was actually, I was gonna hand this over to Ashley, but that was just a perfect segue to, I just wanted 3 things I wanted to make sure that, you know, as a Canadian team, you guys were aware of. One being that tomorrow at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time on the 10th is the end of our limited time early bird special for Impact Summit 2023 and the ability to be entered into the raffle. So just if you or any of, you know, team members that, you know, have expressed interest in wanting to be there and they know they're going to be able to come, then makes sense to get it now and save the most money as possible. That was the first one. Second is also too, Ash and I are really excited for the incentive dinner and leadership training on September the 8th. And anyone that has 1,000 QPV in either July, so if you've already done that in July, you're set, or August, and there's plenty of time in August, you are invited to that incentive dinner and training. I'm not gonna go through all the details of it. I want you to know that it'd be our honor for you to be there. Neo Life will take care of the dinner and all of that. Dinner is on us. Just the smallest little thing we can do to say thank you for all you do as leaders. But that'd be a really fun night of just fellowship, of, you know, pouring into one another, etc. And then of course, you know, Friday, Saturday, we'll be in that area. And I know, Natalie, you've got a plan for all of that, but we encourage you to really leverage those events if possible, because we're super excited for what's going on in the Canadian market, and to use these 3 days, 8th, 9th, and 10th, as kind of like a catalyst event to ignite some growth like crazy. It's just something about being in person. Ash and I were talking about it today. There's something about when you get people belly button to belly button, heart to heart, that's where transformation happens. That's where people's vision grows. That's where people start to believe this is real. That's when people start to get, you know, a strong purpose and desire. And so being together over those 3 days, it can really change people's lives. So invite like crazy to the Super Saturday event. And like you said perfectly, if someone is not even building a business, but they have even an ounce of desire to look at what it would look like, this event will be perfect. We're not going to scare them off by any means. There's nothing we're going to say that's going to scare them off. If anything, we're going to give them really good expectations of what it really takes to build a successful, you know, business in Neo Life and those kinds of things. So actually with that, I'm going to hand over to you, because I know you were going to take it from here on kind of where we want to take the call.
Sure. So this is kind of what we were thinking, and we can go for this huddle, we can go in any direction that you guys want. But what I find is most beneficial is opening it up. And you've got 2 members of the corporate staff here. You've got someone that's built a business before that's now on the corporate staff. Anything you want to ask us, it's just open game. So if there's something that is you feel is a roadblock for you in your business, if there is just this overarching question, by the way, everyone's first question's always the same. I've done this a lot. So I could probably just lead in with that one. But I want to know what you guys need, like what you want to know. What is bothersome in your business? What do you think is something that's holding you back? Or what's a question that you ask yourself often? And just let's chat about that. So does anyone have anything right off the bat that they want to ask, or you've been thinking, or maybe something that's been in the back of your mind for years as you've done this? And then, because the reason I say this is when we're in a small group like this, we can, we always tell the truth, always. But when you are talking to the massive, Neolife community, North America as a whole, you speak one way and you train one way. But when you're speaking to a small group like this, we can dive in a little bit more. So like I had a meeting the other night, Stephen and I both did a meeting the other night with just a small group of leaders, and we were able to dive in and give them real word choices. We were able to go through exactly what, this event is supposed to look like that they were doing. So does anyone have anywhere you want to take us right off the bat?
Come on, guys. Don't hesitate.
Okay, so
Yes,
here's
Serena. Sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead,
Serena.
Shelly, and then Serena. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to say that, and I'm not speaking for everybody here, but me personally, I'm talking to people about the products, and I feel that I'm pretty good at being able to shift them over to, are you ready to start? Would you like to try something? To actually, let's call it close talking with somebody. When I'm talking with somebody about the business, and I've joined them into the Ideal business group, and I'm sending things. What would you feel would be a really great way of, or at what time, or how much information do I need to give them before I go, are you ready to start the business? Or would you like to try, like, what is that wordage, or how do I make that shift?
Well,
Hey,
just
actually,
like that. Oh, go ahead.
I was saying, before you dive into that, I just want to make so I want to make sure I was hearing the question right. Is it part of it is you feel like once you're prospecting someone who's interested in the business, or they've expressed some degree of interest, and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do we go from they're interested to let's get started? Is that kind of that's the point where we're it's kind of like, okay, they're interested. They even maybe verbally said they want to do this. How do we get them going and get them started?
Well, I think it's even before that. It's like the young couple that I met today, where I've sent them some information now, and I'm going to be following up. Do you have any questions about this? Would you like to, come on this call and learn about the products a little bit more? Would you like to meet, like at one point, like, how do I move them from, would you like to get started? Like, would you like to get started? Are you interested in the business and you've been asking a lot of questions? Would you like to now get registered?
Got it. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Ashley.
So I'm glad that he clarified that, because I thought you were saying I'm good at getting people started on products, but how do I transition from products to business? And I was going to say, that's always the first question, but this one is a little bit different. So I was wrong. This one's slightly different. So if someone is already interested in the business, I do think that it matters how you start. And I think that if you ever feel like you're getting to a point and you've got a hang up, it's probably something that the next time we talk to someone, we can just clear up from the front end, because this business and everything that we do in this business, it's all skills. It's a skill-based business that we can get better at. So making sure that we're asking better questions on the front end so that we know what they're looking for and we can guide them better on the back end, is always what we're looking for. But if someone is already, let's say, so you talk, I'm going to ask additional questions. So you talked to someone earlier today at the farmer's market and they expressed interest in the business side of this. I would immediately tell them this is like, okay, so your job now, because you know that they're interested in the business, your job is to guide them to the next logical step. So know that if you've been doing this 5 minutes, then you've been doing it 5 minutes longer than the person you're talking to. And you are the expert, whether you're brand new or not, you're the expert. So your job is to guide them to the next logical step. And the next logical step for someone that wants to build this business is to meet someone else. So we just implemented the success system, and I don't think I have it handy to pull up. Whit, would you mind pulling up the success system? I'm so sorry. I hate to ask you to do that.
No,
we were
perfect.
using it earlier, so I think he
Yeah.
probably has it already pulled up. So we introduced the success system just a little bit and gave you guys a preview of what's to come. We're going to be like diving into this more and doing specific trainings on it. But the success system is literally just that. It is a system that yields success. So you've already done the first step of the success system. You've initiated and started conversations. You've created curiosity because now they've asked a question. So the next step, sorry, you know my watch. Anyone that's ever been on a success team knows my watch listens to me. Okay, the second step after you do that is super simple. You're just going to introduce them to third party because you've created curiosity. Now they get to hear more. So you introduce them to a third party, and you can do this in several ways, but the best way is to introduce them to another living, breathing human in a very easy manner. And if you were with Nada earlier today and you guys met them together, it's great that they've already met someone else. So you guys have both been able to sort of share your 30-second story or 2-minute story. A way that you could do it then would be to introduce them via third-party credibility to any form of, to any other form. So you could introduce them into the community. You could introduce them by saying, I want you to meet such and such. They reminded me of you. So I wouldn't use Nada because they've already met her. So I'd use someone else. You can even set them up. A third-party credibility can be done in person. It can be done over the phone. It can be done through 3-way text message groups. It can be done through WhatsApp group. It can even be done in a 3-way Facebook message. But we just want to introduce them to someone else. So we've done that. And then the next thing is just invite them. And I think you're naturally, even though you did not know what the success system is, you were naturally doing it. You've initiated conversation, created curiosity. They met Nada. Let's let them meet someone else. Let's get them in one more time because you two met them at the same time. And then we're going to invite them to something. So you always need to have an event in your back pocket at all times that you're inviting to. And it needs to be within the next 7 days. So the reason that we're doing the Discover Mores every week, and we're doing, once a month, we're doing these focused events where it's an evening event that you can invite prospects to, is because you should never be more than 7 days away from introducing someone new into this stage of the success system, which would be an event. So whether you put one together yourself and you act like it's been on the calendar forever, whether you invite them out to coffee with you and Nada, whether you invite them onto a Discover More, whether you send them a link and you say, all right, so this is an event that I wouldn't do that, but you can. People do send links to events that have already happened. I don't think anyone watches replays when they're brand new, but I've seen some success with that. But invite them to an event. And once you've created curiosity, they've heard more, they're going to see more with that. They really are starting to experience that culture. So this is the perfect time with where you are now with introducing them, inviting them. If we play this right and we move them through this right, they'll be ready for the Super Saturday training by the time it comes around. So I would also make sure that you're dripping that Super Saturday training on them right now. So you've done all of this. I would reach back out to them now and I would invite them to something. I would invite them to, I've got to discover more tonight. I don't know if that seems too close. And then I'll have another one next week. But if you need me to ever put an event on the calendar, I can do that too. So we are flexible in this business, whereas we can create things to invite other people to. So I think that you're doing all the right things. I think it's just a matter of working them through that system. And every time you take the next step, they are making additional commitments and they're getting more and more ingrained in the community. So I would work them through that system and get them to the Super Saturday training. But in the meantime, they need to get to another event within 7 days.
And we do two events every week, Ashley, every Tuesday and every Thursday. They're
So
an
good.
ongoing event.
I would
Yeah, so-
invite them Thursday for sure. And then if you want to go over inviting language, and if people that you're inviting are already showing up, then you don't need my help on inviting language. But if that's something that we want to go over, how to invite, how to get people, to show up to an event, all of those, like that's always something that we can talk about and go through. What else you got there?
No, the only other thing I would add, and I don't know if you've already, we're using this young couple as a great example for this, is they expressed interest in the opportunity side. Do you know why they expressed interest? Like, is it, they've been looking for a side business, or one of them is currently working 2 jobs, and so they're wanting to not, is there something there? Because there's got to be a reason behind why they would be interested. Maybe they want to pay off debt, or maybe they want to, but that could help a lot, because then you can better tailor relate your message to them when talking about the opportunity of how, man, as a young couple, and maybe you went to school and have student loan debt. I totally understand. This is an incredible opportunity that you can do alongside y'all's full-time careers and be able to pay off that student loan debt so much faster than you thought possible. So you could relate this business more personal to them than just like, it's a business opportunity. This is an opportunity to help you pay off that student loan debt that I know that or whatever it is for them. But if you can make it a little more personal too, that can also, I think, help.
That's real. I find that powerful, Stephen, because I think we kind of did that, Shelley. I don't know if you've noticed that we did that. I think it was just natural because her boyfriend just finished his marketing mortgage broker, and he was looking for a job, and it might be, he got a job, he got hired, and it might be 4 hours away from here. And she finished her schooling, but
she actually left schooling because it wasn't the field that she wanted to be in, and then she was looking for something else that resonated more with her, which is why when she saw our booth, it did. And so it was more of a personal thing in terms of health. But when we started talking about having the opportunity as well, then she really, got excited and tell me more about it, because this was another thing to think about, and as either as a plan A or as a plan B, if she decides to go back to school, either way.
Yeah. And also we planted a seed that if he did have to move 4 hours away, this business she could do it wherever they travel, wherever they have to move to. And that kind of intrigued her. So so I'm definitely asking more questions. And I think that's great, finding out more about their needs.
That's wonderful. And by asking that why and figuring it out, then the perfect person to link them up with. You know what I mean? Like finding a story that matches is always nice. So that's wonderful. Well, let us know if you need our help. We'll jump on a call anytime you want.
Thank you.
Okay, that'd be great. And I think who had there? Serena, I think you had a question.
I did, but that totally covered it. Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks, Shelley.
I'm not kidding. Every single time for over a decade, if you open up questions, it's always about it's always about the business and introducing the business, how to find a business builder, how to take a product user and, turn them into a business builder, if you will. It's always the same thing. But because it's always the same thing, like, know that that's always the rub in this business. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all trying to do exactly the same thing and move through the same process. And there's some comfort in knowing that it's the same thing that everyone goes through. And it's always this, so if others have been successful with the exact same problem and the exact same questions, then we will. It's just a matter of finding our own verbiage and our own groove. What else you got, guys?
When?
Thank you. Well, I'm very interested in that inviting language because, we have learned the whole inviting formula. If I send you, will you watch? That sort of idea. If I, give you this package, will you take it? What is your inviting language? It sounds very intriguing and I want it.
Well, I'm not saying I'm right, but I can tell you what worked for me. So there's
Okay,
that. I did not know about the inviting formula. So I would have loved to have known about that. That would have been great. But my inviting language just is going to, I'm telling you, I'll never come up with anything genius, but it's honest. So it 1000% is tell the truth. And here's what I mean by that. If you're reaching out to someone and you want to invite them because you think they would love the community, then that's it. That is literally what you should say. Because people have a great gauge of whether you are trying to sell them something, whether you've got something in it for you, whether you've got ulterior motives. People have a great gauge. So before I picked up the phone or sent a text message to invite someone to anything, I always ask myself, why am I reaching out to this person? Like, why? Because if the answer is to get them to buy products, you need to put your phone back down. Because that's not the reason that we reach out to anyone. Do we want them to buy products? Absolutely. Do we think we have the best products on the planet? Without a doubt. Will it help them? Of course. But if I'm only reaching out to meet my own quota, and not because I think that I'm reaching out to this person because I can make a difference in their life, then it's not the time to reach out to that person. But if you are looking and you're like, you know what? My friend Shelly is amazing. And she is a better everything than me, right? Like, I had a friend that was amazing like Shelly, and she was a better mom than me in my mind. She was a better wife than me in my mind. She was smarter than me, all of the things. So when I reached out to her, I was like, here's the thing. I make lists all the time of people. I make lists of people that I feel like are looking to lose weight because I see that on Facebook. I see lists of people, or I make lists of people that I know are looking for extra jobs, people that I see on Facebook are looking to gain more energy. But I have a list of my top 10 dream team, the 10 people that if I could work with would make my entire life, because I believe in surrounding myself with people that are better than me, because that's the only way that I'm going to get better. And I think you're better than me at just about everything. So it would not be a stretch to say that if I know that I spend the most time with the people that I work with, and I would love to spend more time with you. I would love to work with you. And I truly believe that if you ever got a glimpse of this community, you'd never want to leave. Because not only could you add value to this community, but you are going to love them too. It's such a transformative community that makes such a difference in my life. I just know you'll love it. So no pressure. So there's the other thing. You always have to give them an out, because you never want to be the person that puts someone into a situation to where they don't know how to respond, so they don't respond to you. Because I would rather someone tell me no than just ghost me and never say another word to me. And they saw that message, right? So sometimes when that happens, it's because they didn't see an out. So at that point in the message, I always say, I don't know if this would be a great fit for you, or I don't know if you're looking for anything like this, but I would love it if you just had 10 minutes and we could jump on the phone just to see if it's a good fit. Or I would love it if you are not busy on Thursday night, if you just wanted to jump on this Zoom with me. You don't have to turn your camera on, so you can be in your pajamas. No one's going to call your name. You can be a fly on the wall, but I think you'll love it. So my inviting formula is not science. It's just telling the truth. And if somebody says something on Facebook and they're like, oh, I don't want to, like, oh, here comes the summer. I'm going to have to wear jeans on the beach all summer because I hate my body. So I don't want to be, I write them a message and say, I saw your post about wearing jeans on the beach this summer. I just want you to know that I have helped so many women go from wearing jeans on the beach in the summer to being confident in their shorts. And you may already have a product that you're using. You may already have a plan, but if you don't, I've got a really great one. So I'm just going to send you over a couple of before and afters of people, because I want you to know that there's proof in what I'm saying. And if this interests you at all, it would be my joy and my honor to tell you about the products, and then end by saying, is that something that you would be interested in? End with a question, right? And a lot of my questions are they're all very basic. Is that something you'd be interested in? For Shelly's question earlier, my business question would when I was ending a business conversation with someone and they were nodding, yeah, I'd like to do that. Yeah. My question was always, well, if we go through this and everything continues to be, everything keeps looking good, is there anything that's preventing you from getting started? And that was my best question that I ever had. Is there anything preventing you from getting started? And if I was sitting down with them, I would say, okay, we've gone through everything. It seems like it's a good fit. Let me know if you have any reservations. Let me know if you have any questions. That's totally normal. But if you don't have anything, is there anything that's preventing you from getting started today? Because sometimes they'll say, well, yeah, I want to get started, but I don't get paid until Friday. But already asking a better question has led to you knowing that Friday is a magic day. Friday's the day that they can do it. Now, they may be lying to you. Granted, they may not get started on Friday, but now you have a reason to follow up with them on Friday. So I would just make sure that we get that last question right, and that we stop trying to be perfect when reaching out to people, because perfection is not attractive. The only reason any of you like hearing me talk is because I mess up all the time. And because you're like, oh man, if Ashley can do it, then I can do it. She doesn't even know her analogies before she hits the stage. That's the only reason that my talking is attractive. So know that perfection is not something that's attractive, because no one thinks they can do it. But if you're just being real and you're just telling the truth is something everyone can do. Telling the truth is totally duplicatable, and telling the truth is very attractive. In my opinion, telling the truth and speaking from the heart is what makes you magnetic. It makes you irresistible. And that, I feel like, is the true inviting formula, but there's no way I can put that on paper. So Whit, what else you got?
No, I was literally I was going to sum it up with one way that Ash and I both were raised in this industry was not around a lot of specific formulas and scripts of what to say. We were trained more on, people want to hear your heart. They don't want to hear your commercial. That was people want to hear your heart. They don't want to hear your commercial. And so it was less about having specific scripts or specific phrases that you want to use. Is more about you nailed it, Ashley. What's speaking, what's real in you and relevant to them. And so that was kind of what we always kind of said, the thing about scripts is it can kind of come across sometimes as plastic and phony and fake, and people that know you especially are like, you don't talk like that, So Ashley, you nailed it. There is nothing more magnetic than you speaking from the heart. Absolutely. I love that. Well, I think helping people with some word choices here or there are good to at least get the conversation started. If there's too much scripting that goes on and too much, when I use the word phraseology that's going on, it just smells like it's a sales pitch, versus you just being real from the heart. That's attractive. People want to be a part of that. So actually you nailed it perfectly.
And you hit it on the nail, I think, Stephen. I think that's what happened today with Shelly. I think Shelly, they opened their heart and you opened your heart and we did. And it's funny because that line is there anything preventing you from getting started today? That is, I think, a very nice way of getting them to say, yes or no, or telling you when they want to get started. I love that line. I think that's going to be a natural thing that we need to get used to just saying. Is there anything preventing you from getting started today? And say it like you're excited. And anyways, Rose had a question. For me, I have to be comfortable with being vulnerable.
I know, Rose, it's difficult, but the more you do it, then the more comfortable it becomes. I promise.
Yeah.
And Stephen, I love what's real in you is relevant to them. And one line that you just used that I'd forgotten, I used to use all the time, is because you said people don't want to hear your commercial. People fast forward through commercials. You don't want to be saying anything that that people would fast forward through. And I'd forgotten about that, but I'm going to bring that back around in a training one day. Sometimes he just knocks things out of my head that I remember from like a decade ago. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can work with that.
Excellent.
What else, guys? Is there anything else that you guys want to dive into?
We've got 10 minutes. Just so you guys know, because we have our health talk at 8 o'clock. So anything else? Because I think this was awesome. I think we covered some pretty important points. And then maybe for after September, if anybody has something that they want us to cover on these huddles, just, that's something we can work together, and we could send the list over to Stephen and Ashley, and every month we can set a little bit of a plan. And some of it can be spontaneous, but at least have some points that we want to hit.
I'm excited about
Sorry, say it again. Sorry, there was Joan and Mary Ellen. Sorry, go ahead, Joan.
No, I was saying I'm excited about the launch pad that you'll be bringing on, because I don't think on the website, there's not a lot of business to send people to,
Right.
So I'm excited about what you guys are doing, incorporating business and on the website.
Excellent. Thanks, Joni. Mary Ellen.
So Ashley, what was your most effective way of getting referrals from happy customers and promoters?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll be really quick with it. All right. So you just asked, like, I know it's not, that sounds so simple. You just asked, but I would always ask, and I would, we're having a conversation, everything's going great. And I'm like, Mary Ellen, you just look incredible. I know people have to be asking. So tell me, like, what are people saying? And then I would let you brag on yourself and say, well, I mean, I was at church earlier today and someone said that I looked incredible. And I just can't believe, like, I felt so good when they said that. And I'm like, Mary Ellen, tell me about this person that said it at church. Like, who is it? I would let you tell me who it was. And we would talk about this person. And I'm like, if they noticed, they probably noticed because it's a desire of their heart too, to look good, right? Like, if they notice you losing weight, it's probably because they're trying. Does that sound right? And then you'd be like, yeah, they're always trying to lose weight. And I'm like, okay, like, I don't want to be weird and I don't want you to be weird. But if you will introduce me to them, I'd be glad to coach them through the exact way I'm coaching you through. And what's great about this is if we can get 3 friends started on the products that you're using, you're going to be able to get your health solution for free. So I always turned it like I would help them through. And I think we talked about this a little bit at convention, but we would go from like a curious consumer to a happy customer to then an excited sharer. Like, from a happy customer to an excited sharer is just a matter of showing them that if they share what's already working for them, they can get their products for free, or they could get a paycheck. And by putting that money in their pocket, because these days, everything's so expensive, getting your products for free is a paycheck. Like, that is a huge win. So taking them from, like, they know that they love these products and they know they're looking good, but you have to be the business builder in a sense and ask them, like, bring it up and ask them who's asking, like, start bringing it up and saying, all right, you are all around town. People have got to be noticing, how great you look, or they've got to be noticing your energy. Tell me about that. And then help them make the list, because too often your customers are going to prejudge people. And we've all been taught not to prejudge, but they don't think anyone around them is interested, when in reality, almost everyone around them is interested. We know that. Like, we have a product that fits just about everyone. So I would ask them that. I would see who's asking. And then after someone has been doing well for a while, specifically bring up the 3 for free with them. I would hesitate in saying the word business. I wouldn't use that, as I would try to take that out of your vocabulary. It's kind of a no-no word. And the reason is, if you say, have you ever looked into the business side? Business sounds like work. Work sounds like another job, and no one wants another job. However, people want extra money, and they will share these products for extra money. We just can't scare them off with, would you like to start a business, right? So whenever you've got a happy customer, you want to ease them into it by saying, all right, I know you're loving products. I know you've got your NeoShip and you're happy with it. Would you be interested at all in learning how you could get your products for free? And generally everyone's going to say yes to that. And then you say, all right, it's actually super simple because you look great and you're doing great things. Everyone has 3 people somewhere in their sphere of influence that we can chat with, that we can get started on products. And when we do that, yours are going to come for free every month. And then that's a soft entrance into sharing the products. And once they get a paycheck, as soon as they get a paycheck, you call them, you don't text, you call them and say, all right, you just got your first paycheck. I know it's $48 and you probably have gotten a refund of $48 and you didn't think much about it, but I'm not going to let this day pass. What are you going to use that $48 for? And you let them name it, because when you name it, it gets a life of its own. And when they're like, oh, well, I'm probably just going to pay bills. That's great. That is an entrance into the income opportunity, because you're like, well, I mean, there's more where that came from. Like, do you want to keep doing what you just did so you get a lot more $48? So I would ask them, I would maneuver it in there, and you always call when they get their first check and name it, because once they name it, if they just let that $48 go into their bank account, it's not going to make any difference in their life. They're going to overlook it completely. But if you can name it, it will start mattering more to them. Whit, you got anything? Sorry, I didn't mean to talk that long.
No, that was good. One little strategy, and it's a slight investment on your end, but I have seen people do this before, and it create great success. So let's just use someone that is a customer of yours that has gotten great results, or is that happy customer. One of the things that you could easily do as well is, like Ashley mentioned, like, hey, I know you probably have some friends that have seen your results and maybe even asking what you're doing. And I would love to, like, if you'd be willing, I'd love to honor, like, to be able to share this with your friends and help them like I've helped you. And also, like, if you'd be willing to invite, a few of your friends onto like a quick Zoom meeting, I could share with them what you've been doing and what we've been doing to get great results. And I'd love to, like, not only would that help you maybe get your products for free, as Ashley mentioned, but I'd love to send you a box of our newest product, Upbeat, for you to try, just to like say thank you for, inviting your friends to learn more. Almost kind of like saying, like, it's almost kind of, just letting, using that as kind of a carrot to get them to invite people, like a box of Upbeat or something. That's a little bit of an investment, of course. But it's kind of like, if you'd be willing to invite, let's say 5 or 6 friends onto a Zoom, or if you're in the same town, like over to, your house one night, I'd love to be able to give you a box of our newest product of Upbeat. You're absolutely going to love it. I'd love to just be kind of a free gift for you being willing to, tell some friends about what we're doing. But then also, even better than that, if you have friends that end up doing this with you, you can get your products for free. So it's just another way of doing exactly what Ashley was saying, but is maybe using a product as kind of like a gift for them to introduce you to folks. It's a little bit of an investment, and but I have seen that work really well. Okay, I think y'all have a meeting in 3 minutes. Is that correct?
Can I share something that'll take 10 seconds?
Yes.
I donated a box of the Upbeat to the Canadian rugby team. A friend, I know to the girls Canadian rugby team. A friend of ours, their daughter's on the team. And so I messaged them up and I said, we have this amazing new product. And anyway, I dropped a box off at their front door. And so I'm just really hoping that it does them well.
That's a brilliant idea. And another place that's great to drop Upbeat is the fire station. You're giving back to first responders. They work out a lot. So anything like that, if you take a stick of Upbeat and you attach your business card to it, anything like that, it's a donation to first responders and it could really yield a lot of business later. So great idea. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm going to run to another Zoom while you run to another Zoom, but thank y'all so much for letting us join in tonight.
Yes, and we'll do this again the second Tuesday of the following month in September, but we'll see you guys also September 8th, 9th, and 10th. And of course, you can reach out to us anytime. So have a great evening and enjoy your, I think your health talk is what y'all have next. So enjoy that.
Bye, guys.
you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.